Durdle Magic. Welcome back to Durdle Magic. Today we're playing some more Subira, Tulzidi Caravanner. Let's look at our opening hand down here. 2 lands, but one's Temple of the False God. Could possibly have some follow-up, but I don't think keeping it's a good idea. If looking at our next hand, not much better, 1 land only. I think we're going to have to take another mulligan, although I'd like to keep half this stuff, really. Mulligan again, looking at our next hand. So at least we have 2 lands we can play this time. We'll still need to draw a 3rd, though. That's not going to help much. So, let's see. I'm thinking Berserker's Onslaught or Terror of the Peaks has to go. I'm thinking Terror of the Peaks. Unfortunate. So, definitely keeping probably a subpar hand here. So, not much you can do. We just didn't have the lands. I really wanted to risk that first hand, though, with the Mountain and the Temple of the False God. I've made a few changes to the deck. We'll get to those towards the end of the video. We do get to go first. So let's go ahead and play a Mountain and play our Hot Soup, see if anyone wants to blow that up, and we'll pass it off to our opponents. Our first opponent happens to be playing a Wooded Foothills, Muldrotha the Gravetide. 3 black, green, blue for a 6/6 legendary elemental avatar. During each of their turns, they may play a land and cast a permanent spell of each permanent type from their graveyard. Yeah, not looking forward much to that. Tropical Island into play for Muldrotha. Muldrothas tend to be about the same. There's like 3 major archetypes. The good value stuff, the great value stuff, and the land archetype. Our next opponent playing a Crumbling Necropolis is Nekusar the Mind Razor. 2 blue, black, red for a legendary 2/4 zombie wizard. At the beginning of each player's draw step, they draw an additional card, and whenever an opponent draws a card, this card deals 1 damage to that player. Not looking forward to that either. It's kind of a no-bo with our commander. Smoldering March into play for our last opponent. Grenzo Dungeon Warden, X Black Red, 2/2, Goblin Rogue, legendary creature of course. There's the battlefield with X/1/1 counters on, and 2, put the bomb card of your library into your graveyard. If it's a creature card with power less than or equal to Grenzo's power, put it onto the battlefield. So we got some interesting opponents to say at least. Our turn drew us a Loyal Apprentice. Let's go ahead and play the Loyal Apprentice, get that out of the way, and pass it off to our opponents after we go to attacks. Who do we want to attack though? There's so many good options. I mean, any of these decks could really go infinite. That's the problem. Nekusar's going to do a lot of damage. Muldrotha is just going to outvalue us, and Grenzo could have combos, including the Madcap. So I guess we'll just start going around the table. 2 going into Muldrotha, and then we'll hit Nekusar, and then we'll hit Grenzo. Probably should have started with Grenzo now that I think about it, because they probably have a lot of 2-power stuff just like we do. So assuming we get a 3rd land on our next turn, Loyal Apprentice will start popping out tokens for us. That's nice. First time I've actually drawn it in all the testing and all the games I've done. So I'm kind of looking forward to it. We get a little army every turn. Sylvan Library coming down for the Muldrotha player. That's a card they need to reprint. Not because I think it necessarily should be in everyone's hands, but because you do get an advantage of it. It is a really good card. It's, something green doesn't necessarily do despite its consistency. So a couple more reprints might be in order there. Sulphur Falls into play for the Nekusar player. They tap down their land, saying they're not a threat this turn, and they are passing it off to Grenzo. Sulfuran Void into play. Alright, they get to scry 1. I didn't see a colorless land coming for the 2nd turn. I wonder what else they have in hand. Doesn't mean they're out of any plays, though. Grenzo, of the ones I've faced anyway, tend to be pretty low to the ground, kind of like our deck. Leaden Mirror, there's a black source, and it is a creature, too. Comes our turn, we get Dragon Master Outcast. That's not really going to help us at all. So let's see. Rogue's Gloves might be something. Combat damage to a player, draw a card. So we could probably lay that down, leave the evasion up. We do have to draw cards pretty quick here, so let's go ahead and play that. It does equip for 2, unlike the Hot Soup that equips for 3. Let's go combat hit Nekusar in the face, because our Loyal Apprentice unfortunately only has 1 toughness. They're all just full of that passion, gives them an extra power there. Alright, damage is good. Let's pass it off to our opponents. Hopefully we get another land next turn, or we equip the Rogue's Gloves and are able to get somewhere. That's going to be the real issue, because we have, 3 more turns until we can even get the Loyal Apprentice evasion, and I'd much rather have our commander out, start pumping out some Thopters. Crystal Vein into play for the Muldrotha. I see that a lot in Muldrotha decks. Not a bad land in there. Fecundity. Whenever a creature dies, that creature's controller may draw a card. That'll help out, although not as much as it's going to help Muldrotha. Off to Nekusar's turn. Grim coming down for them. That's not good. So we'd have to empty our hand anyway just to have stuff happen, but that's going to hurt us pretty bad. Nekusar is really just our opponent to beat right now. Reliquary Tower was into play for them as well, which means they have no maximum hand size, which of course worries me. Sulphurous springs into play for Grenzo, tapping the Leaden Mirror. So will Grenzo come down with 2 1/1 counters is my question. Grenzo, Dungeon Warden coming down with no extra counters, so it must be pretty low to the ground. I've always wanted to build a Grenzo Dungeon Warden deck. It just needs a lot of cards I don't actually have anywhere for it to run specifically for that commander. Hey, we get a land. Alright, so do we want to summon our commander? Probably, but we do need the extra card draw before everything kind of like dies. So I don't know. I think commander this turn, and we'll go ahead and swing at things, and then next turn we'll go ahead and equip the Rogue's Gloves to the Loyal Apprentice or a Thopter. Sounds like a plan. Going to the Wombats gets us a nice shiny Thopter. It also has haste. That means we can also swing into Grenzo, so that's nice. So let's go ahead and assign various things to various people. Loyal Apprentice over there to Muldrotha, Subira into the Nekusar player, and we'll go ahead and attack the Thopter into the Grenzo player. Happy days. Alright, damage is good all around. Let's pass off like that, and hope our opponents realize we're not necessarily the threat upcoming here. Nekusar plus a McGrim plus a wheel will definitely murder somebody, just melt their face off. Land into play from Muldrotha on their turn after the Sylvan Library. Coffin Queen. Whoa, that was fast. Hold on there. You may choose not to untap it. Put target creature card in a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. If it becomes untapped, you lose control of Coffin Queen. Exile that creature. Also, I kind of like the art on that. It's pretty cool. Yeah, that's an older card. I think I have a copy somewhere in my paper collection. It's not bad. It's not good, but it's not bad. Just one of those things you can recur. It's kind of like the enchantments, necromancy, Dance of the Dead, stuff like that. I'd put it not on par with those, but it's certainly in the same vein. Geary Chantarium being activated for the Nekusar player, just coming into the battlefield. They said they had no wheels. Muldrotha was saying they could wheel now. I don't think Muldrotha should be telling them what to wheel since they have that recur with the Coffin Queen. I don't like that idea at all. But we will be taking 2 damage from the McGrim. Sorry. Well, we want to discard depends what we draw, I suppose, really. Nekusar could also be lying. I mean, you can bluff. Bluffing is not against the game. We have Archetype of Aggression. Are we going to have Trample on anybody? I mean, we might have Muldrotha. That could be a thing. So, what do we want to discard? I'm thinking... I mean, right now, Dragon Master Outcast isn't doing much for us. And it could scare people, but it could also be a Lightning Rod for removal. I'm thinking for now we actually get rid of the Fleet Feather Sandals. I kind of want to keep the rest of this, especially if Dragon Master Outcast can get going. It almost never does. People almost always kill it. McGrim triggers for all of us. We'll take 2 damage. Grenzo is being activated. What'd they get out of it? Priest of Gix enters the battlefield. Add black, black, black to your mana pool. That's pretty good. So a little bit of a ritual there. Will they activate Grenzo again? I think they will. Yep, there it is. What did they get? It doesn't look like they got anything that time. Mortuary Mire. Okay. Ooh, they passed up a Siege Gang Commander off that discard. So what do they have in their hand? That's interesting. They also should have just, the classic reanimation as well, so we'll probably be seeing that. I think, ironically, now that I'm thinking about our initial threat assessment here, Grenzo's actually going... If we can get Nekusar out of the way, Grenzo's going to be our problem if we can then get Muldrotha out of the way. There's going to be so much trouble with our guys getting through their guys if they can produce more than us, because even if we're unblockable, that's why I kept the Berserker's Onslaught as like a gut instinct kind of feeling. I don't know. I got a gut instinct feeling here that Grenzo's not going to be that easy. Temple of Mouse down to play for them. They will scry 1. Alright, we have an attack out of the Grenzo player. Grenzo into us. The Priest of Gix into the Nekusar player. No blocks for us. Comes our turn. We get Latel's Orders. This is a card I'd probably end up taking out of the deck. I've been testing it, and I don't know if it's just bad luck or something. Usually people are running a lot more artifacts. We'll have to wait and see what Muldrotha does. But not the best so far. Not really. So, let's see. What can we do here? We can adventure the Embereth Shieldbreaker, destroy the Leaden Mirror. That might be something. And equip the Rogue's Gloves, draw a card. Or we can do Dragon Master Outcast and equip Rogue's Gloves and draw a card. I'm thinking the Outcast, that way maybe they will target it, blow it up or something. So let's go Dragon Master Outcast. And then we'll go ahead and equip the Rogue's Gloves to the Thopter. think that'll be fine. Grenzo's the only one that can kill it right now. Let's go to the combat. We'll get another juicy hasty Thopter from our loyal apprentice. So loyal. So apprenticey. And let's see, where do we want to send stuff? I'll probably send this Thopter into Grenzo. And probably this Thopter into Grenzo too. No, I kind of want the card draw though, so I don't want to risk anything. So let's send it off over into the Nekusar player. And we'll send actually Subira over to the Muldrotha player. See if they want to trade with the Coffin Queen. I severely doubt it. And we'll send the Loyal Apprentice off into the Nekusar player. That way Nekusar's still taking the majority of the damage. I do want them dead first, if anything, because we can't even activate our commander's second ability without taking a ton of damage. Damage is good everywhere. We get Rogue Gloves trigger. Can't say anything today. Let's go ahead and say yes to the May draw card ability. I do want another card. It's a mountain. We'll go ahead and play that during our second main phase. Seems good to me. I really want to destroy something, but the Ledinmere just doesn't seem like it's worth it at the moment, so we'll just pass it off to our opponents. So my problem is Muldrotha has Fecundity, and Nekusar might be coming down next turn. If Nekusar blows the board, we get a bunch of cards, which is fine, but then we also take a bunch of damage, and it's just not something I like. So I think I'm also going to start working on Muldrotha a little bit more as well. Windswept Heath into play and cracked for the Muldrotha player. They'll be able to get those lands back per turn with Muldrotha. So let's see, they are at 5 mana, so one more turn till Muldrotha, unless they want to crack the Crystal Vein, which is something they could do, although they wouldn't be able to play it till next turn. Coffin Queen being activated, they're going to go get the Siege Gang Commander. Alright, no red mana to throw the goblins at people, so that's nice. But they do have a bunch of blockers now, so our Thopters will be going into them as hard as possible. I think that's what's going to be happening. Off to Nekusar's turn, let's see. They said they've been drawing a lot of land or bad draws. So I want to see if they'll play Nekusar and just leave it at that. That also means we'd have to use our commander's first ability to make stuff unblockable, which I'm fine with doing. But it does cause me complications. Urborg. Why does everything have an Urborg in it? Nekusar the Mindrazor, so we will get extra draw off of it. Problem being, I don't necessarily want to draw too many extra cards. Also, I still won't get to showcase the commander's second ability, which is making me a little bit sad. I really want to do that at some point, but I also don't want to take a billion T damage. Grenzo being activated at end of turn, let's see what they get. They get Priest of Urabrask. Okay, so it's the red one now. They get 3 red mana to the mana pool. There's another activation. They still have mana up for one more Grenzo activation too. Nothing this time. What they get? Sodolvi Digger. Okay, sounds like Junk Troll and all that jazz. The art is kind of crazy. There's that third activation. Let's see if they do anything, or get anything with it, rather. They do. They get Chittering Witch. There's the battlefield. Create a number of black rat tokens equal to the number of opponents you have. So 3. Sacrifice a creature. Target creature gets -2/-2 at the end of turn. So we're not looking too good here. We are not looking good at all. If any of our guys die, we draw cards, lose a life. If we hit, we draw cards, lose life. They can kill our guys over here, and Muldrotha has a number of blockers for us too. So we're on the back foot. We can't take advantage of our commander very well, and we do need to keep piling on the gas. So I think we're just going to have to sit and try to make Thopters, and I don't know. I mean, we're eventually going to get wheeled, so I do want to get down Berserker's Onslaught, and that way we can at least try to win the game. Alright, Grenzo off to the combats. Let's see what they do. We do have one blocker, and I don't really care about losing the Dragon Master Outcast too much. Although, I'd like to keep it in play, see if we can get some dragons. Those dragons could possibly win us the game, but it really depends. No attacks out of Grenzo. I think he's fine with us just doing the aggro at the moment. We will be swinging some flyers at him as we get them, however. Clamp Step, they do have to discard. Let's see what they discard from the Grenzo player. It's going to be nothing. They quit for whatever. Hold on, I gotta go check some chat. Alright, comes to our turn. Grenzo didn't say anything about quitting, or they had a bad hand, or anything. I guess they just DC'd. Alright. Nekusar triggers on our upkeep, so we'll get an extra card and take 2 damage. So 2 cards, 2 damage total. We do get a land, so that's very nice. We get Dualcaster Mage. I did take out the Kiki Jiki combo and added in another thing for Dualcaster Mage, so hopefully we'll be seeing that at some point. And nobody will have like an instant speed wrath like Force of Despair. That would kind of suck. Let's go ahead and play Berserker's Onslaught. And then we'll go to combat and see what happens with everything. Alright, let's go combat. Yeah, we gotta send everything flying into the Muldrotha player, I'm thinking. So I'm actually going to take back one Thopter and send it into the Nekusar player and do it like that. Alright, we have our first trigger off Rogue's Gloves, and we are taking a huge risk here. I'm going to say no to the first trigger on the draw. If Nekusar wheels, we'll be discarding, 5 cards, and that's 10 damage. Not to mention the 5 on top of it, so... Oh, we get Temple of the False God. Alright. Too bad we can't play that right now, though. We played the Mountain for turn. It's a sad face. See, no clicking. I think next turn we'll have enough mana to do some stuff, assuming we don't get wheeled. I'm going to switch the Rogue's Gloves to Dragon Master Outcast just so we stop drawing cards. There are those Nekusar triggers. Sylvan Library is going to be bad for them too, so that'll be interesting. They'll draw 2 additional cards, so 4 damage total to them this turn. And if they want to keep anything, that's 4 life on top of it. So that might take care of things for us. But we're still in a bad position. If Muldrotha blows the board, we get to draw lots of stuff. And it is a May trigger, but... yeah, so I think at that point we don't draw anything. That's just, yeah, that'd be bad. Muldrotha the Gravetide into play for that player. I was just noticing as they're tapping the mana, they don't have double black yet, so at least there's no damnation coming our way. Could be a Toxic Deluge in the future, however. Off to Nekusar's turn, they draw an extra card, take no damage because they control the Lich King. Just a land into play for Nekusar this turn. They could have, is Windfall an instant wheel? I don't remember. But they could have something, and that always worries me with blue mana up. You know how that is. Alright, we get Tome of Legends, more card draw. Ironically not something we necessarily want this game. And Mazizium Mortars. Yeah, I add that in over Descent of Dragons. So, there you go. What do we want to do? Let's play Temple of the False God. So, I think at this point, I want to play Mazizium Mortars. What can I do with 1 mana, though? No enemy artifacts to destroy. We could make something unblockable at that point with our commander, so I think that's what we're on at the moment. Or, I could just kill Nekusar. That's something too, and then we say we get 5 mana back, so that's nice. I think I'm on the just killing Nekusar plan, so let's go ahead and do that. I was going to do Overload, but I also don't want Muldrotha drawing a bunch of cards off all of the things that would die. They'd probably do it. They're only down to 4 cards. They have nothing in the graveyard to abuse, so I don't necessarily want to do anything about that. Nekusar, 7. Yep, there's a response coming. If it's a counterspell, I don't care. I really want to debate that out and not waste the mana. Dream Fracture. Counter target spell its controller draws a card, you draw a card. Do we want to dual caster mage that real quick? I'm kind of thinking we do. I think I want to. Let's go ahead and do that. I want to dual caster mage this. I never get to like counter mage anything. Another response out of Nekusar. Yet another counter. What is it going to be? Oh no, it's an activation. Okay, I was starting to wonder because I don't think there are any hard counter spells at 2 mana that are, not counterspell. We get Irreverent Revelers. It can get haste, so that's good. So I think we'll discard Shieldbreaker Embereth. If they do manage to play an artifact, we just drop the Revelers. Necrotal into the graveyard for Muldrotha. That's not good. Look at this stacking up. Dual Caster Mage into play. Let's copy the Dream Fracture. We will counter the Dream Fracture with the copy Dream Fracture. We'll draw a card and lose or take a damage. I don't know why. Oh, okay. It was on the card itself. I knew that. And Mazizium Mortars will finally blow Nekusar out of the water. Fecundity will trigger. Nekusar did in fact draw that card. It is a May trigger. So, what do I want to do? I guess we could get Tome of Legends down just because I don't want to have to discard it and then, have stuff that is bad happen to us. But let's see what happens in the main phase here. Or in the combat phase. Let's go ahead and go to it. Trigger, another Thopter boy. Let's go ahead and send all the Thopters into Muldrotha because now they have things to murder our people. Alright, we're sending all of our ground forces into the Nekusar player. Thopters, all of them into the Muldrotha player. So Muldrotha will be taking 8. The other player will be taking 10. So, yeah, that's as good as we can do here. Probably making a lot of enemies. Gloves trigger. Will not be getting any of that card draw right now. I don't feel like getting that wheel. He's got to have a wheel by now. I don't want to take any extra damage. Damage is good all around. 11 Muldrotha life total. 19 Nekusar's life total. Pass it off to our opponents. We have a blocker and dual caster mage against the Muldrotha, so we won't take too much extra damage there. They would have to wheel probably twice to kill us. So I'm hoping that won't be the case. Windswept Heath out of the yard into play. They're cracking it. Nekrtal, I wonder where Nekrtal would be going. Probably the Dualcaster Mage, just so we can't block. Because if they wheel and we draw... Well, they'd have to get Nekusar back down for it to be super good. But we'd still take 10, plus the 6 from Muldrotha, plus 4. So we'd be down to 7. We might be able to finish the game at that point if Muldrotha doesn't do anything else. But, you know, it's Muldrotha. There's Nekrtal. Let's see what they're going to blow up with it. Thinking Dualcaster. Oh, Loyal Apprentice. Alright, I can deal with that. That's fine. That's probably a little bit better. We will not be drawing a card off Fecundity. No, sir. Off to combat. I'd rather save the 6 to my face than keep making Thopters at this point. The Thopters will, they'll get us in. It'll be fine. Off to Nekusar's turn. 9 cards in hand. 6 mana in play currently. 1 more mana and a Cycrypt would be bad. Pretty bad. Crypt of the Eternals into play. They gain a life. Now let's see if they Cycrypt. They kind of has the Cycrypt or some other removal. Flood of Tears, maybe. We get a dragon next turn. Muldrotha would be dead, and Nekusar can just take the rest. Mizizi Mortars on Overload. Well, that's kind of poetic justice, isn't it? I don't know what these temporary zones are for. They keep popping up these days. Does anybody know what this is about? Oh, it's about them being in any order? Into my graveyard? Does it matter? I don't know. We'll move our commander back to the command zone. We have a number of Fecundity triggers. I'll see you on the other side of this. I'm going to have to say 1, 2, or 3 no's or yeses here. If they have a wheel next turn, it really depends. I think I'll risk 3 draws. Comes to our draw step. Muldrotha sacrificing Crystal Veins. Stormseeker deals damage to target player equal to the number of cards in that player's hand. So we're going to be taking 8. That's a card I don't see every day. Stormseeker, remember that. Ouch. That's just so uncalled for, man. Alright, comes to our turn. We get Fire Emancipation. The draws I did get were Mountain, Command Tower. Yeah, I don't know why that's in here. I'm sorry. And Bolt Hound. I just automatically put it in everything, I suppose. Let's go ahead and play the Mountain. So we will have 3 creatures that get haste. And then we also make them all like 3 2s, 3 3s. They'll each deal 6 damage. Getting Nekusar down to 2. Just 2. It's the sadness, I'm telling you. Also, we'd have to cast them all and they each cost 3, and that's not happening. We're 1 mana short. So, I don't quite know what we're doing here. I want to save a Chaos Warp for the Muldrotha player, because I don't want them hitting us for 6. So I'm thinking what I want to do here is get our commander back down, and let's see. I need 2 more. Yeah, let's get our commander back down. She has haste. See if she takes any removal. Next turn, we can play 3 3-drops. And we do have Chaos Warp for the Muldrotha, so I think that'll be okay. They'll probably recast Nekusar. We are on the back foot now, though. Let's get rid of the Tome of Legends. We'll take the 2 from the Grim. And then I guess we get to respond now, so that's kind of sad. Let's go ahead and Chaos Warp their General out of existence. That way, they can have the opportunity to recast it if they want. I wanted to respond at the end step thing, but I guess I clicked through it, so that's my bad. I didn't want to take the 2 from Magrim, so sadness. So if Nekusar has 2 wheels, we'll be taking 12 and 12, and that will kill us. Nekusar could win this just by the way Nekusar wins things. Muldrotha's on the back foot now too. They can't recast anything without recasting Muldrotha unless they have something that immediately brings it into play. Coffin Queen, Dance of the Dead, Necromancy, something like that. Black's the only thing that brings stuff directly into play as far as creatures go. That isn't white. Silver Removal. It's a bounce spell. Okay. Yeah, I mean, if they bounce our commander, that's fine. Yep, that's fine. I don't want to pay 5 for her anyway. But now if we get wheeled, we take 14 damage and we're down to 2. And that's only if they have 1 wheel. Explosive Vegetation, they'll get some more lands. Not doing too much to the Nekusar player, unfortunately. Nekusar, I don't know. It always tends to be a threat at a table. And leaving it alone is the worst thing you can do, unfortunately. I did see a game where 3 people were playing Nekusar. That ended in less than 10 minutes. And, it was casual, not competitive. But, yeah, that was a slaughter. Animate Dead, what are they getting out of us? Dragon Master Outcast. So they'll get dragons on the next turn. That's unfortunate. I guess we'll have to kill them even to survive either way. I don't think they'll be using them against the Nekusar player. We seem to be the arch enemy with all the damage we've been doing. Alright, it's Nekusar's turn. They can kill us with a wheel and Gear Reach Sanitarium. That is a thing. Let's see if they do it. They probably will if they can. Propaganda. Alright, that's going to put a stifle in our plan. Burning Inquiry. Draws 3, discards 3. Oh, man. Oh, and at random too. Sadness. Alright, we discard Fire Emancipation, Subira, and the Ghost Quarter we drew. I left our commander in the graveyard. There's no way we can, like, resummon her and do stuff at this point. So, we are down to 6. Muldrotha down to 4. I would hope they'd attack the Nekusar player, but I'm not putting my hopes on it. Does Nekusar have one more wheel? Can they do it? It'd have to be Windfall, or the black one, was it Dark Dealings or something? They don't have enough mana for one of the 5 ones. It could be Wheel of Fortune, I suppose. We get Prophetic Flame Speaker for our draw for turn. Double Strike Trample. No haste, though. So, discarding the Sandals, coming back to bite us in the butt a little bit. That's unfortunate. Let's go ahead, play a land. Let's play the Irreverent Revelers. I can't, such a tongue twister. When they come into play, they'll gain haste until end of turn. Let's play the Bolt Hound. And then we'll play the Prophetic Flame Speaker. It does have the double strike, and we can do Archetype of Aggression next turn. Because this way, it'll get the, assuming the Bolt Hound doesn't die for some reason, we'll hit for 4, and that'll be good at getting Nekusar out of the game. But then we just have to deal with the dragons from Muldrotha. Alright, let's go to combat. Deal a bunch of damage to Nekusar and hope they randomly don't have another wheel. I think that's kind of the plan at the moment. Although, on the bright side, we go down to 2, so that's nice. But again, Gear Reach. That'll happen. I forgot about Propaganda, so it's not even that great. Yep. Draw and discard. We'll take another 2. Vandal Blast. You know, Jirina, Kudro, when I had all this stuff in the deck I never got, and now I always get it, and I never have anything to do. It's just a sadness, really. Alright, we discarded. We're going to take the 2. Muldrotha's going to take the 2 as well. They're going to have to hit Nekusar. If they hit us and kill us, they lose the Dragon Master Outcast. Although they do have 6 cards in hand, so I'm not certain that's a thing for them. But if they wheel, if they even activate anything, Muldrotha's dead. No, Lightning Bolt. No, my bot had a Lightning Bolt. Wait, hold on. I want to rewind. Lightning Bolt. In EDH? Are you mad? Alright, so, yeah, I guess we have to draw a card, because there goes our little buff there. We get a mountain. Not the best ever. So, I think we'll just leave it. I mean, we kind of need Muldrotha to help out. And I want to attack into Nekusar next turn. We're only going to deal 6, though, at this rate. And a handful of lands. 1 wheel and we're dead. It's not looking good. I don't know if Muldrotha has a way to give that dragon haste, but I would appreciate it. Off to the second man, Muldrotha's turn. Let's see if they do anything with all that mana. Oh, they don't do anything. I'm hoping they have a counter spell or a disallow for that Gear Reach Sanitarium. Void Slime. Just something to keep them alive. We need them, unfortunately, to help us. Dismal Backwater. Nekusar will gain another life. That's 1 more life out of the reach of them being dead. Second main for Nekusar. What are they going to do to us? Nothing. They're going to leave it all up. So, no wheels. They do have Gear Reach to kill off Muldrotha whenever they please. So, we're going to have to do as much damage to them as possible. Torbrand's going to be good for that. Let's go ahead and play a Snow-Covered Mountain. Play a Torbran. That'll give us some nice stuff. Let's see if they counter it. I imagine they will if they can. Ooh, no counter for Torbran. And we have enough mana to attack, so I say we go do it. Let's go ahead and go to combat. Select our adversary, the Nekusar player, and then we'll go ahead and pay the 2 for everything. We have a response. Gear Reach Sanitarium, Muldrotha going to die. That's too bad. We get a gamble. That is... yeah, let's get rid of the gamble. New card into the deck, by the way. Figure a random tutor might not hurt us too badly. So, does Muldrotha have anything? Can they counter the ability of Magrim with a Void Slime or a Disallow? Maybe, is it Trick Bind that also does it? Muldrotha down. Unfortunately, we do not get our Dual Caster Mage. Man, I wish I had that. Dragon Master Outcast. Alright, 1-on-1. We're at 6. It just takes them drawing into anything and we're dead. I hope they're really unlucky. First double strike trigger, we get to exile something and maybe cast it. Let's see what it is. Ah, Chandra Parents, that would have been so good. Can't cast it though. Next, a mountain. We already played a mountain, so we're gonna have to whiff on both of those. Sad face. Let's pass it off to our opponent. Nothing much left to do with the 2. Could equip the Rogue's Gloves, but I think that's probably a bad idea. Well, no. I guess we're dead to anything. Response at the end step. What are they doing to us? Target player draws 2 cards. This deals damage equal to the number of cards drawn this turn. Okay, so we'll take 3 damage? No, we take 4. We're down to 2, so all it takes is a discard now of any kind, and that's Gear Reach Sanitarium. Good game to our opponent. I thought maybe we could come back from it. Looks like we were getting close. So, I mean, it was just a bad matchup, really. We couldn't use our commander's draw effect. We were drawing a bunch of extra, redundant draw things. Hope of Garapor would have been fantastic had we been able to hit and sacrifice, but what can you do? Oh well. Let's go ahead and let them have it. Good game. This is why you should never give up. And Nekusar always plays out this way. That's why it always worried me. I wish Grenzo had stuck around. But, yeah, what can you do? There it is. Good game. Let's reveal our hand. Let's see. Can we read the message? They can't. They keep sending us messages. I can never open the chat after this screen pops up for results. It's really aggravating. I hope you see the video. I definitely enjoyed playing against you in your Nekusar deck, even if it was kind of a no contest for us eventually. Here's the deck as it is now. I did put in Hellrider. I took out some of the Perons. I put in the Mazizium Mortars and took out the Descent of Dragons. Add Burnished Heart. Added the Hope of Garapor. Added Gamble. Took out some more of the higher end stuff. Kiki-Jiki, Zealous Conscript, stuff like that. Added in the Twin Flame over here for the Dual Caster Mage combo in case we did get it. If I had to remake the deck a little bit, I'd take out Latilla's Orders. That just seems kind of unnecessary. Another way I've seen this deck being built is with all the red and artifact infect guys. They all tend to be small, and you can win that way if you have, buffs, Porphyros, deal extra damage, Fiery Emancipation, Torbran, stuff like that. Another way I think you can build this deck is, and hear me out, is slightly spellcaster, like Zada-esque, even put Zada in the deck. Because I think if you're just using spells to create tokens and stuff, and then refilling your hand with the commander, that could work. Yeah, it's going to be a weird hybrid. If you have the cards, you can build it. Zada alone is probably better, considering she'll always be in your command zone. But I think it's a doable deck design. I think it could work, maybe even be a Storm build. I mean, never going to be, top tier, maybe even power 8 or something, but I think it's doable. Anyway, here's the deck list as you can see on Magic the Gathering Online, and I will put the link to that tapped out deck list in the description below. Let me know if you have any comments, any suggestions, stuff like that. I personally didn't want to run any Infect in here. People get real scared of that and we get newer down. I really wanted to try to showcase the commander. Sad that we could never showcase our second ability, but there you go. Again, good game to our opponents. I hope you enjoyed the Subira series. Thanks for tuning in to Durdle Magic. If you like the content you saw here today, hit that subscribe button. Hit the notification bell, hit that like button, and if you could be so kind, please share the video to anyone who you think might be interested. And remember, you can follow our posts at Facebook and at Twitter at DurdleMTG. We also post the video links there, so if that's more of your forum, Durdle around with us and enjoy some Magic. Until then, see you around.